Welcome to the new and improved Guardcast IRL. Yeah, baby. Let me turn that off because we don't need that no more. So, tonight is episode number 83 and Destiny's 2's last breath? Maybe? Who knows? Ooh, let's get this. Let's see. Remove that. I don't want that there. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay. I don't need that shit. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, here we are once again talking about the final days of Destiny 2. So, before we get really into the nitty-gritty tonight, let me introduce myself. My name is Armalite, and I am your host here at Guardcast IRL. I'm still working on the name, trying to remember what the name is. I keep wanting to call it Guardian. It's no longer called the Guardian. It is now called Guardcast IRL. And anyways, I figured I wanted to do a different name, and I really like how, you know, Guardcast IRL just kind of rolls off just right, you know what I'm saying? So that's what this is. So, and I really appreciate you being here. And for those that may not know, I do have a Discord in the description below. Normally I would actually get into it so that you know, if I want to have callers or something like that, but I'm going to kind of hold back on that because eventually I want to start having guests and stuff like that. So that is a thing. Now tonight we're going to be talking about, you know, Destiny dying. What really, it's not really focusing on Destiny itself. It's more of what is it that the people are saying when it comes to what's going on in Destiny. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go over here. So this was the first piece. Okay, this was the first piece I kind of wanted to go over by. Hang on a second. Let me switch over to here. I'm going to pop out my chat right quick so that those of you who are hanging out in my chat, I could still see you while we talking, right? So I figure we start here and kind of sift through a little bit of this. If you haven't seen it, it's a video that Astrocross put out talking about the true Destiny killer as basically saying Bungie is its own enemy, I guess you would say. So anyways, that being said, from what I have read so far, it seems to be more of a PvP issue. A lot of people are talking about wanting they really, a lot of what people are saying, they're just kind of putting out, well, oh my god, the numbers on Steam are showing a sharp decline, right? But I'm not really hearing a whole lot of solutions coming from anybody, like different things that we could possibly do or what we could persuade Bungie into doing to maybe help. I know, like right now, I mean, you're seeing less people play, but that's a lot of the times that's due to because there are new games that have came out. And I know a lot of people who were kind of like they just can't stand the state of PvP right now. That they're going to like Call of Duty, the new Modern Warfare 2 that came out, or the new Warzone 2.0. A lot of people are going over to that, right? So, and I can't blame them. I mean, if Destiny's PvP is not satisfying people, I mean, that's what it is. Now, that being said, I'm still not hearing a lot of people talking about what could we do to change it. So I figure I kind of start out by maybe putting some ideas out in the forefront, even though I know nobody at Bungie will ever see this. So but to kind of really start off with PvP, I think you would see a large influx of people if Bungie puts out a PvP season, right? A PvP focused season. Now, just to reiterate, I am a PvE type of person. I don't really play a whole lot of Destiny's PvP, but I mean, I do. And then, I quickly fall off. I tend to find more enjoyment just to find an area, just run around in a circle for a long period of time, testing out new builds, trying them out, especially on harder bosses. How quickly can I melt them and stuff like that. I find more enjoyment out of that, right? Not so much on the PvP. So I was thinking, what would be a really, really good idea? And you can actually implement this into a season, a launch of a new season, Bungie. Okay, check this out. When Bungie used to do its thing in Halo, right? There was a way where you can actually modify like private matches. And I've spoken a little bit about this prior, but I think I could get into the nitty gritty. So what I'm kind of envisioning is you going into a private match and you can literally customize a private match to the point of like what you have now, and then you can also manipulate how often someone gets their supers, if at all. You could scale it down to 0 and you're not allowed to use supers or abilities. You can scale it down to only certain classes against each other, like whoever wants to prove who's the best class, or what type of weapons that could be used within that match. Now the beauty of it is that you can actually go in and do all this adjustments, right? And what you could do is actually submit it to like a leaderboard, and whenever you take it to that leaderboard, you would actually be able to see a whole list of different things, like different PvP modes that people have created within our community. Some of the just crazy, outlandish, stupid shit that people would make, or just somebody would fine tune it to the point where it's freaking amazing, and they could share it with those settings, most likely probably locked into place, because then you would want to have it set up where it's like, let's say if I go in there, I could fine tune everything about the match. I can't manipulate the map itself, but I can manipulate, and I can even set it up with whatever map I want, or even maybe a rotation of maps or something. So you're basically giving me the tools to be able to create my own game modes. And I could go in there, and once I submit it to some sort of leaderboard that people could see, my name's attached to that. and you can actually, and others within the community can actually go in and play that game mode the way it's set with those settings, right? And they could try it out, and the more popular it is, the higher up on the leaderboard it goes. And once you get, and if it stays up there very consistently, maybe Bungie could take those settings and actually implement them into the actual game. So it's kind of like it's an actual labs, but it's the community that actually gets to work with all those settings, right? So I think that would make that would really help out, in my opinion. So you can actually do it that way, and you could, let's see what else. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people talking about like needing maps, weapons. Well, mainly it's really just like the weapon chasing. But I think some people say, well, we need new maps, and it's like, do you really though? I mean, yeah, like the first couple weeks, you know, the maps are cool, but they just eventually it's going to dry up and you'll be back to complaining again, you know? So, and I feel like, you know, when it comes to like the PvP part of the community, they do a lot of complaining, like a lot, the way I see things. And it's unfortunate, to be honest. And I think, you know, maybe if we give something like this, like, you know, you can even call it the Forge, you can call it whatever it is. I'll let you guys come up with a better name than I can, because I don't know what to fucking call it. But I think it would be a great idea. People could spend hours fine-tuning the perfect match, have their friends try it out with them, they can test it out, see how they like it before submitting it. So like you can fine-tune everything and then hop into that match, try it out, see how it feels, and then you can come back with those same settings set up, and then like you could save it to be able to fine-tune it a little bit more. And then once you believe that it's ready, you can go ahead and submit it to the leaderboard, or whatever you want to call it. And it would be really cool if if it was possible, if Bungie can go ahead there where Shack is and have like this big screen or something. There's plenty of room over there for a big screen where Shack is, and be able to, you know, basically show what's going on. Like you could see whoever's up at the top, you know, you could see it from there. Maybe even add an extra menu so you can interact with it. Or you could just do it at the leaderboard, interact with that leaderboard kind of like you do with like the kiosk or whatever, and then you can actually engage with it, check out the maps that people have created themselves. You know, having the community basically do the work for Bungie when it comes to PvP, because then Bungie can actually kind of see what it is, you know, if it's something that, and I guess it depends on it. I guess you could say it would be more like the casual playlist. Probably want to separate the three to where it's like casuals, tournaments, and probably like Trials of Osiris, you know, basically allowing the community to be able to do it. And I guarantee you there will be lots of people that want to do that, and especially if they can get the recognition. You know, someone builds a pretty badass game mode for PvP and it gets acknowledged, Bungie can do a whole thing about it. I mean, shit, I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? So that was one of my ideas, you know, long story short. So, but I was kind of coming here and if you haven't seen the video yet, which I would suggest going and seeing it, but you know, talking about how the numbers are looking shite, and when it comes to like the Steam numbers, and it's like people want, I'm sure we can all agree that we all want what's best for the game collectively, but I don't know. So I figure, from what I've seen, it was more of like, oh well, the numbers are showing that they're going down, and I'm seeing a lot of concerns when it comes to this kind of stuff with, you know, because I know a lot of these content creators say they've built an entire platform, you know, basically based around a single video game, but doesn't mean that they don't have the following that they couldn't move to another game if they had to. But that's besides the point, because you know, they love the game, you know, so they say. So I was kind of looking through here. I might actually read a lot of these, but one person was saying, I imagine content like this is getting you a lot of views right now, but I'd worry about the long-term impact of doubling down on negativity, which you're seeing that a lot, like just negativity, like, oh, this is what's happening and Bungie's not doing anything to fix it. And it's hard to, like, I hate it when people do this, because it's like the next season is literally right around the corner, right? It's not like they could just stop everything and just scrap it all and redo it all up again. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't expect them to do that, but it seems like, you know, when Bungie's down, people just want to start throwing punches all the fucking time. And instead of like, and they say, oh, it's just criticism. And it's like, yeah, but are you giving anything in response to your criticism? Are you giving any kind of constructive criticism? Like, hey, Bungie, we're noticing this being a thing. Less people are playing your game right now, and we're concerned it's because of these things. And here's some ideas to maybe help. You know, if you really want Bungie to be able to, you know, listen to the community. So, but this person was saying that, and then you got this reply that states, Bungie deserves it. The community should be hypercritical of them and remind them of their fuck ups at each turn. They clearly aren't listening to the feedback for topics mentioned in Cross's videos or video. So, and I understand that Bungie is a company, but the company is made up of people. There's still people there. And a lot of the people that work there don't have leverage, or they don't have the ability to be able to make decisions. They just do what they told. You know, they're just basically cogs in the machine, and that's basically it. They love what they do, they love the game, and they want to see it prosper, obviously. But I feel like some people, they say, oh, well, we should hyper criticize. I don't think that you really need to take the time and actually hyper criticize. I don't care what, you can't justify that. You know, people say, oh, well, we pay for it. And it's like, yeah, you could pay for it, but at the same time, you don't have to. Nobody's pointing a gun to your head telling you, you have to give us this money in order to play our game. Or, well, yeah, I mean, you have to pay the money to be able to play the game, but at the same time, you don't have, nobody's forcing you to play the game, right? So if you don't like it, move on. Like, that's it. But some people just don't get that. They don't understand the idea of constructive criticism. Like you can have constructive criticism, but you ain't gotta be a fucking asshole about it. So anyways, we'll move on to the next. The next person says, I mean, yeah, Bungie jumped the shark and decided to focus on other projects, ignoring Destiny 2, and now their income is drying up. You need players to sell Eververse. D2 is a bad MMO, needs far more people actively working on the game, both PvP and PvE. A lot of people bring up the Eververse all the damn time. So as far as we know, that was one of the things that Astacross did bring up, that the Eververse was basically a way for people to basically help fund for like secret missions and stuff like that, right? And for whatever reason, Bungie has already stated that they're not going to do it. Not saying. I'm not really sure. The language is kind of vague on if I understand that they want to be able to do those things, but it's something to do with the whole data mining that people do in order to, when they try to develop these things. Possibly it's giving an extra loophole. I don't know. But, people always bring up the Eververse all the time like it's some kind of fucking dunk, and it's not. It's like, even if, everything in there is just cosmetic, for one, and two, it does have rotations where you can actually purchase all these things with in-game currency. So, and it's not as toxic as what people tried to make it out to be. I have seen in other games, especially in free-to-play games, where people actually they like, as soon as you get into game, that's the first thing that pops into your face is literally their microtransaction store. And yeah, sure, you could say, well, the bright dust basically is what gets you to go back to so you can see the store. And it's like, okay, if you're having such an issue where you can't control yourself, I think you need some help, to be honest. If you can't control yourself to be able to be like, oh damn, Bungie, you gotta put this in my face because I just want to open up a bright dust. I gotta pay the $20 for silver now because they're forcing me to. It's like, okay, chill the fuck out, okay? But like I said, people bring up the whole Eververse thing and try to act like it's a dunk, and it's not. So the next part was the fact that during the past 24 hours, there's probably more people who watched your video on Tiger Spite than people who played Destiny 2 is terrifying. Okay, so let's see the numbers. I went ahead and looked it up real quick, and it looks like right now in the past 30 days, the average player count is 39,403, and the peak was 66,388. So we're basically saying, this is probably the lowest point within the game. But at the same time, we when you try to, and I guess in the past, it looks like at the past 24-hour peak was only 36,000, and all-time peak was actually 292,314. So I feel like a lot of people try to justify their point of view with these numbers. Yeah, you're seeing a lower decline, but you're only keeping it like in this circle, that's it. You just want to make sure you only show this framing, that's it. You're not blowing up the bigger picture and context of why. Yeah, you could probably justify the way that the PvP goes, or you know, a lot of people that are within the PvP community are playing other PvP games that came out this year here recently, which the new Call of Duty just came out last month. So you have that, and whatever else, and a lot of people just taking breaks. So, but maybe they're right. You know, all this doom and gloom might be correct. You know, Destiny's dying. We're going down, ship sinking. And it's talking about it. It's because the game's focusing on a lot of underlying issues, and it's not just about the current that is worrying, but the overall direction of the game. This person's talking about Destiny 2 ain't dying, it's almost dead. Facts. I swear people just kind of overuse that word these days, thinking that they're right. Yo, was not more that great in BP. Haven't seen it, and you really don't look okay. Don't know what that's about. This has been my saying for years. The only Destiny killer is Bungie. You know, you might be right, but could we also look at as could it also be the actual community itself? You know, you get so many echo chambers, and you get these content creators that's all they do is doom and gloom and negativity all the fucking time. I mean, it'd be nice if they actually did a video where someone said something nice about the game. But you know, negativity is what drives the views. That's the ticket. It drives the interaction, was whenever you use negativity. So let's see, what's another? So Jesus Cross, I never thought you would be the one who make videos overreacting over player count at the end of a season, a mid-season I might add. Good thing there are other games to play when things are slow, and criticism is placed right. Yeah. Crest is not getting another summit, but truer words never been said. I mean, man, I hate to see this. Your videos and streams were my favorite. Your shit's hilarious and entertaining. The world is falling videos just kill it. It's a shame. I think being hypercritical and calling Bungie out for their failings is better than blind ignorance and acceptance of mediocre garbage, but whatever. To each its own, I guess. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. I think it's this romance with being hypercritical. I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me, right? It really doesn't. I feel like it's just people just want to, you know, push this negativity based off, you know, just because the numbers are down, because of other things that are currently happening in the world, not just within the game itself. Now, not saying that there doesn't need to be any improvements, and Bungie is completely, like, you cannot criticize Bungie. Sure you can. I am totally a big believer about criticizing, but I think people just overshoot all the fucking time. So Destiny was actually actually trending earlier. Let's see if I can get it to load up here. Let's see. Not a whole lot of it's not always just Destiny, it's always like just the word itself. Those players shouldn't be playing Destiny 2 then. Destiny isn't a game for everybody, and it shouldn't be either. That is true. I mean, it looks like this is a whole ass rabbit hole. Oh my god. Okay, see if I can plow right through this. I imagine content like this is getting you a lot. Okay, so Bungie deserves it. We already read that. Anyone who has ever worked in game devs knows that turnaround on feedback is slow, especially when feedback isn't anonymous. A lot of the people being super critical seem to think they speak for everyone when they don't. SBMM and AE are perfect examples of this. This other person says, I know turnaround is super slow, but it does seem like sentiment around AE is the community not liking its current implementations. And I've given up on the SBMM debate. Anyone who wants it in casual game mode have brains as smooth as silk. Yeah, okay, for skill-based matchmaking, I figured take a moment. Skill-based matchmaking should not be in a casual play mode. It shouldn't. I think that skill-based matchmaking should be in the competitive mode, but we're having to juggle with if you take skill-based matchmaking and you put in, let's say, Trials of Osiris, then you lose connection quality. And you've seen this several times where a lot of the streamers and content creators are posting videos of somebody lagging like a motherfucker during the game. So imagine that being in Trials of Osiris. But I think, but at the same time, even with skill-based matchmaking, I'm just like, okay, I'm actually for it if it's implemented it correctly. I think right now, since we're seeing like a sharp decline within the, within the player base on Steam, we're seeing like basically a lot of the matches you're playing up against kind of the same people, because not as many people are playing right now. And they're not going to be back until the next season. So maybe once the numbers go back up, it would work. But I think the way that Bungie has have stated that they want to make it where when it comes to the when it comes to like Trials of Osiris or anything to that sort, they want to make it connection based and not so much as skill based, which is kind of weird because it would be nice if you could have both. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to be playing in a high skill environment, you should be going up against people that are at your skill level, right? It just makes sense. So I don't know. Let's see, where was I? In my opinion, it was a bad look to dismiss people who disagree with you as idiots. It suggests you haven't thought about the topic enough to understand why people have a different preferences. I do understand why they have the opinions they have. It's because skill-based matchmaking benefits them, as they don't have to face better players than them, which is fucking stupid and lazy way to think about things, and not good design wise either. Sorry, but clearly you don't understand why they have the opinion they have, but assume you do. Then you tell me why I'm saying it because they want fair matches. You tell me what else the reason could be. Okay, I'll try. I'm good enough at D2 that I face top 500 players in my lobbies. I am not good enough to really have a chance against them, though get the odd kill. I also face people who don't have really a chance against me, though they get the odd kill 1 for 5. Let's call the top 500's 10s, me a 7. And the people who don't stand a chance against me 4s. Ideally, 4s should not be in the lobby with 10s, but should be in a lobby with 7s. 7s should be in a lobby with 10s, but should be one of the worst in the lobby when they are 2 to 5. Which I think that's basically what Bungie is going to be implementing when it comes to the soft SBMM. When life either next season or like I believe it's next season is when it drops. So I think you're going to be seeing that, you know, like the 7s going up against the 10s, but the 10s and the 7s shouldn't be going up against the 4s. And this guy's idea, it's not I don't want to play against better players, I do. It's the only way to improve, and being challenged is fun. It's because I think that when games are constrained to players who can actually challenge each other, even if it's just a little bit, it's more fun. Okay. Eggplant punch. What's up, Astro? Let's see. Bungie has shared their data shows the single greatest cause of players quitting Destiny permanently is an I can't even talk. Loop-sided Crucible matchup. In my opinion, that's an outcome that should be avoided as much as connection quality allows. I hope this makes sense. Okay, that's enough for that rabbit hole. I've had an eye on this game called Risk of Rain 2. Nice. I could actually get it. Okay, nice. I've never heard of that one. Let's see. Let's see if we'll do a little refresh. I have the $25. Well, if you got $25 and you feel the need that you want to buy it, it looks fun as heck. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So, like I said, we're kind of looking at the Steam numbers, and you're actually seeing like right here, it's, you know, 39,403 people are on average in the past 30 days. So a lot of hype around that, and yeah, it's like this whole doom and gloom when it comes to Destiny 2, which, hey, what can you do? Now, I would like to, I think a lot of it also has to do is the season itself, you know. A lot of the, I mean, we're not going to see every single season is going to be a banger, right? So that being said, you know, there are going to be some seasons that are just kind of meh. And this was probably one of those seasons. A lot of people weren't very happy with the season. I mean, at first it was cool, and also as Cross did point out that we're starting to see like this, where Bungie is basically, you know, trying to stretch content, you know, where we have less, just nothing, right? I mean, think about it how it was before. Before it was basically, you know, you get the DLC and then you waited till the next DLC came out. You know, a lot of people don't really think about that. This whole, when they started doing the seasons after Forsaken, when Forsaken first dropped, I mean, I thought that was amazing. And the fact that they used the seasons to be able to tell a story that led up to the next DLC, I loved that. Now, this season, it kind of felt a little bit off, you know? So it did, like, I'm not really understanding the plot. Maybe I need to freshen up on my lore story or something like that. I'm gonna wait to settle on this. Maybe for Christmas I can get it. Okay, I could get Risk of Rain 2 soon, and for Christmas I could get Astroner. Never heard of those, just let it be known. But thank you for joining and hitting me up in the chat as well, and feel free to give me your opinions. You know, how do you feel about the situation? If you feel like Destiny is becoming a dead game. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see. Let me look at it. Ah, yes. Take a quick look at the thing. You guys can actually see the chat that pops up. Hang on, I want to fix this a little bit, since we got some action going on here. There we go. Oh, Astroneer. Oh, okay. My bad. I'm an idiot. I appreciate it. So anyways, can't wait to watch this. What is this? Where are we at? Oh, okay, we're still on the thread of here. Let's see what we can find here, because this is Destiny. And I have noticed that not everything is always going to be talking about Destiny itself, at least the game. Destiny 3 has to come after Final Shape, or Final Shape has to be Destiny 3, because Destiny 2 Skeleton is too shit to carry on for much longer. The baggage of crap launch is still felt today in the Rotting Core playlist. Destiny needs a relaunch with stronger bones. Yeah, so, you know, let's just, you know, just throw everything out, you know, including the kitchen sink, and see what happens. Why not, right? I don't understand why people feel the real need that Bungie needs to start Destiny 3. And to be honest, after the whole after Final Shape, you know, that's basically, I'm assuming, it's going to be the close of the saga, right? So if we're going to be seeing the close, what's going to be coming after? Is it even going to be Destiny after that? Not sure yet. So, but anyways, a bunch of people want Destiny 3 so bad. I don't understand it. Now, I think what a lot's going to happen, what really is what's going to happen, is that the fact that if Bungie does come out with Destiny 3, it's going to be only on new gen. So me trying to remember that deleted video in my liked is just a burning memory. All right, so anyways, like I was saying at the you're going to be seeing, it's not going to be out for PS4, and I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for the whole shortages of the PS5 and all this other shit, I probably, yeah, Bungie would start leaning more towards the new gen. I mean, you're kind of already seeing that, right? You're already kind of seeing this transition when it comes to the new gen, because they're like, I've seen a post where they were comparing the two photos of what Destiny is going to start looking like, for that they're going to drop down a lot of the graphics or some of the graphics so that it's not so hard on the game. But I think a lot of that has to do with that they are preparing us for Beyond Light. We don't know what the extent of Beyond Light's really going to look like, so, but we could be seeing, I would say Bungie just needs to stay the course and just keep going the way they are right now when it comes to keeping everything the way it is before just dropping Destiny 2 and starting Destiny 3, especially with doing it in final shape. That wouldn't make any sense, in my opinion. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be done with this section. So let's go over here right quick, take a look. And let's see. I did see this earlier, and okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just let this play out for us, right?
This game needs less grind. As a long-time player with a decent track record, I can confidently say that there are too many grinds in this game. It needs to be dialed back a notch. I am not trying to brag here, but I've done a dual master 8 beyond. I've gotten every active raid seal, conquer, and I'm a solo run away from having all the dungeon-related seals. I've done all the seasonal seals and the DLC seals. So, when I start a new season at +0 artifact, 10 light outfit, pinnacle cap, it annoys me. I can do the hardest SH*T in this game, but the game makes me prove that I'm still capable with every season, or else it locks me out of that content. The grinds, as I see them, currently. 1. Pinnacle grinds. There's a soft cap, a hard cap, and a pinnacle cap that goes up 40 every year, not counting the massive jump when a DLC launches. I get DLC bumps because it's new content, new area, and thus it makes sense to see new growth. Ads start out wrecking you, and you eventually grow to shrug them off as being completely undeserving of your attention. But pinnacle grinds are little more than thinly veiled attempts to get people back into what should have been one-off activities like Vox or Preservation to waste our time. 2. Artifact grinds. This has improved over prior years, where GM Ready is just over 100 season ranks instead of like 200 previously, but it's still the same crappy seasonal challenge in Bounty Farm. It takes an eternity to get there just by playing the game, and endgame stuff like raids give you almost nothing compared to basic PvP playlists. It's literally just filler for the first few weeks of the season, and it's entirely unnecessary. I could see maybe using the artifact to unlock mods, but having it increase your light level is a stupid idea. 3. Exotic grinds. Every season has new exotics, which means back to the Master Lost sectors, which you can barely even do until you do the previous 2 grinds to get the latest piece of armor. Then, you have the seasonal quest line for the new exotic weapon Catalyst 2, which almost always involves some long at SS grind getting PvP kills with this new off-meta weapon. It sucks. 4. Crafted weapon grinds. 8 new weapons, each needing 5 frames, and the drop rate gradually going down every season has most players basically revolting. Oh, and at least 3 of them are new PV and PvP meta, so you have to get them to keep up with the power creep, just so they can be nerfed or power crept next season. For the next batch of 40 frames you have to get, craft, and level up, and then craft again. 5. Seasonal challenges. You know the only thing worse than playing Gambit? Playing Gambit with 3 people trying to get sniper rifle kills on red bar ads because that's what the game asked you to do, and it's the only reasonably good way to get a season without doing gunsmith repeatable bounties for 8 straight hours. No, bungo, I don't have a good sidearm I can take into every activity to get the 1,000 kills necessary to finish a weekly seasonal challenge, and nobody likes grinding 100 chest opens on Leviathan or 100 champion stuns in Master Catcher Rush. Stop making us compete with each other. IN co-op game modes at schools. Now those are just the grinds we get every season. There are other grinds that are omnipresent. 1. Stat rolls armor has to be double or triple 100s or they suck, according to streamers and Reddit. Always gotta be looking out for better armor rolls with artifice slots or whatever the latest craze is. 2. Raid exotic / adept / red border weapon grinds, gotta get that cataclysmic with bait and switch or your DPS is garbage. Gotta get that adept weapon from trials or you're the worst PvP player ever. Gotta get the GM adept weapons because they're new meta somewhere, I'm sure. Whatever. Blam, dash. Remember when we all grinded for Stormchaser god rolls and then Bungie nerfed it a few weeks into the following season, citing a fire rate bug the gun didn't have? Oh, raid exotics gave a 0.1% drop rate. Go F***CK yourself, prepare to do Auric CPs until your kids graduate high school in 15 years. 3. Gilded seals. Got Conqueror only once. You cleats suck, I have mine gilded 6 times because I'm a gamer. Prepare to spend time doing the same challenges again just to brag to strangers on the internet that you've done the challenges more times than they have. 4. Too many seals, 1 for the season, 1 for PvP, 1 for the new dungeon, 1 for DLC, 1 for your mom, 1 for the homies, 2 for the previously free but now premium mid-season event, etc. Jesus, give it a rest. 5. Festival of the Grind, nothing more than a late season attempt to keep people engaged. We made people grind lost sectors for 2 weeks for some lame SS loot and a seal nobody cares about. 35 freaking lost sectors for 25 triumph score points and the same Lincoln Green Pulse rifle we've been disassembling since year 1 because it's actually garbage. Glorious. Next time, give us bad omens and that one grenade launcher that dropped every 14 seconds for a year. I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2, but that's nearly a dozen grinds going simultaneously most of the time.
It's too many. Stop it. We're humans. You don't pay us. This is nonsense. So this is like a grieving letter to Bungie, basically saying that the game is way too grindy. Honestly, if you're going to be sitting here trying to complete every fucking thing in the game, I mean, Jesus Christ. But hey, now I guess they could change it up with the certain seals. I personally like grinding games. Yeah, I mean, I like it when there's a goal, and I especially enjoy when it's like, okay, I need to do this, but I could be doing this as well because I have something else that I'm working on. Like, basically, when it comes to, let's say we go to like this Festival of the Laws, you know, trying to get everything done or trying to collect all the materials so that you can convert and do the haunted lost sectors. Well, I spent a lot of time in Gambit as well because there was a specific weapon that I wanted with that specific role. So I would actually be in the Gambit, grinding my ass off, looking for a specific weapon, and I'm collecting the materials that I need to be able to do the haunted lost sector. And then I would go do the haunted lost sector a few times to, you know, do whatever it is, any kind of completions or get a certain weapon or whatever. I like it when I have multiple of things that I could be doing simultaneously. And a lot of these other things that people are frustrated about, it seems, it's like if you try to focus on that one specific thing, and then it becomes a grind. It becomes just bleh. Now the whole meta thing, I have my opinions on the whole meta thing, I'll tell you that. I feel like the meta is really just someone's excuse, is that they don't really have great gunplay. They just want to be able to use whatever has the highest TTK, you know, like that's basically all the meta is whatever has the highest TTK, and that's what drives people towards that weapon. It's not because you're really good at the game. You just want to be able to melt people. So that's the reason why, like, for me, I tend to enjoy using a bow and a hand cannon in PvP. Yeah, I get shit on that all the damn time because I want to do it that way. So what? I have fun. And then when I try to use the meta, it's just like I just can't do it. Yeah, I might have a couple good games here and there, but it doesn't work with me. I prefer using a bow and a hand cannon. And if I get my ass stomped, I can learn from my mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Let's see. Oh, and I had another hot take that I did post it on my Twitter account, and I stated, because over the weekend a brother-in-law of mine were talking about the good old Call of Duty days that we used to have, and I came to the conclusion is like they need to take the whole aim assist that they have for controller. They need to take that shit out. Take that shit out. Take it. We don't need aim assist. We don't need that shit. And I kind of wonder if they took, or at least have the option to turn it off if you feel the need to, because I feel like that's the reason why, like, okay, like I come from playing Call of Duty and I was using sniper rifles a lot, and that was when aim assist wasn't even a thing in Call of Duty. So I'm sitting here like, and it's all me, and that's how I prefer it. But when I come into Destiny, I can't shoot shit with a sniper rifle, which is a bummer because I would love to be able to use sniper rifles. They're fun. But the aim assist, the whole, someone jumps in front of your crosshair and it just drags your gun, the whole fucking thing over. It's like, oh my God. That just irritates the fuck out of me. Take that shit off, all right? If PC can do it, we can do it too, okay? Watch how people's gameplays, you know, drastically change. So that's my hot take for the night. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I think I'm gonna, how long is this? It ain't that bad. Let's see what this person's got to say.
Bungie, don't act like you don't see all of these AE rants on YouTube by big names Aztec Ross, Mustached, etc.
Mustached.
PvP is a bigger part of your game than you pretend it is, but it feels like it's punishing just for playing it. You can't move in a movement game. There's no flawless protection for players of lesser skill, they just get the short end of the stick. These Crucible changes coming next season could be way more exciting if the gameplay was in a better place, and it's the worst I've ever experienced it. Coming from a D1 beta vet. SBMM is hated across the board too. Plus, where are the maps at? I remember the days we'd get maps for every minor expansion such as Crota's End or House of Wolves. PvP players, I know this isn't our game and we don't make the calls, which can be frustrating at times, which is why it's important to remain patient like we have been. We've been patient long enough. We may not make the calls, but we are the reasons Bungie gets paid. This community is ours, and with even our loudest voices on YouTube having our backs, it still isn't enough. We ought to come together and start canceling our Lightfall pre-orders to send a message that we care about this community. That we want it to blossom and thrive, to hell with better rewards, because we could use that too. We just want something that's worth playing. This game felt so good 2 years ago, even when Stasis was running Crucible. Now it feels slow like Halo 3. What was the point of the Go Fast update if this was our inevitable destination? Bungie things have to change before you lose more fans than you already have. I've seen the numbers and it scares me as a fan. I already see my time coming too if things don't.
Okay, so basically somebody is wanting to tell a bunch of people, hey, we should cancel our pre-orders. So I'm like, really? I mean, is that really all that necessary? I mean, hey, you do whatever the fuck you think you gotta do. That's all I gotta say. But the problem is that I'm saying is basically talking about the loudest voices on YouTube doesn't exactly speak for the majority of the community. I'm just going to be honest. They don't speak for everybody. Now, there are those like, you know, like he was saying that Astacross was, he mentioned Astacross. He does really well the way that he covers the game. So, but even whenever, and this person also was talking about this game felt so good 2 years ago, even when Stasis was ruining the game, man, people were just bitching back then just as much as they are bitching now. I mean, to be honest, that's what it is. People were going to be bitching about all kinds of shit, always whining and crying that they don't like this, they don't like that, take this out, this sucks. Well, to be honest, I mean, they're going to go based off their numbers that they see in the background, and we don't have that information. You know, they try to be a little transparent every once in a while, but they don't show off that information. From their standpoint, it's working, it's good, maybe could be tuned here and there. But just because you get a bunch of accounts that are on Twitter, you know, crying, oh my god, AE and SBMM, they suck, take it out. I mean, you don't speak for the majority. And even the YouTubers, including myself, I speak for nobody. So I speak for just myself. Okay, I speak for nobody. And that's the whole point of this channel, is I'll say whatever as I feel like I need to say, but at the same time, everybody else has their opinions, and I want everybody to be able to voice their opinions. You know, I'm not dead set on the whole if AE is really that great of a thing. I feel like a lot of people, like I said, they just look at a little piece of the puzzle, but they can't step back and actually take a look at the entire picture. They can't see what's beyond, or they can't think beyond what they can see right in front of them, right? And I think that's a real issue. You know, people like, you're seeing these things being implemented now for what's coming later, and it makes sense later on down the road. I mean, hell, how do you know AE makes sense now? Because we're getting Strand. You literally got fucking grappling hooks. You're going to be having grappling hooks, and you're going to have somebody that's 100 feet in the air and sniping somebody. I mean, that would be a pretty badass clip, but but we'll see. And I think a lot of it will start making sense, especially come Lightfall, to be honest. I think everything is leading up to Lightfall. And all the decisions that you're seeing right now, especially when it comes to PvP, it's all leading up. Now, it doesn't mean it can't be fine-tuned, and sure, voice your opinions. But I feel like people just take it a little too fucking far. To be honest, I don't think it's really needed. But hey, you know, people are going to do whatever the fuck they do. Let's see. Absolutely, no one likes skill-based matchmaking. The only people who want it don't seem to understand the actual effect it has on the game. If I wanted to sweat, I would go into trials or comp, not control. Just seem like Bungie is out of touch with the PvP community. And I don't even play that much PvP. It seems like Bungie doesn't even care about the game balance anymore. One new Crucible match is how long? Suspensions and control, airborne effectiveness. Like, there's no way Bungie looks at these things and are like, yeah, oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I don't even know. This is you get a lot of people who, they're complaining about the skill-based matchmaking, and they say, well, I don't, look to go into control and just sweat my ass off. Okay. I mean, I could kind of see your point. People want to be able to, do funny builds and be able to get good with them and all that kind of stuff. Sure, I could see that. Maybe taking skill-based matchmaking out of control and maybe see what happens there. Or, well, we're already seeing that Bungie is going to be implementing like a SBMM light, so they are going to be making adjustments to it than what it is currently. So we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully maybe once the next season comes around, which is I believe a whole nother week later. Hang on, how many days we got? Let me just grab my controller since I got my PlayStation up. I've had it on in the background this entire fucking time. 7 days, so an entire week. We have one more week, so not tomorrow, but the next reset. That'll be when the next season hits. All right, I'm gonna close that out, and so anyways, figured that this is actually, let's see. Okay, so the poll that I've done, we got 3 votes, and no has won my poll. Hell yeah. Well, do you think Bungie will make a comeback with Destiny 2 when Lightfall drops? And it looks like my poll says no, but I think people just want to be Debbie Downers. But thank you for taking my poll if you decided to do so. I really appreciate it. So, okay, so we spent some time trying to talk about everything with, PvP. At the beginning of the stream, I did discuss what could possibly be some good ideas, maybe to start the conversation, maybe to see how people feel about it. If they, if they think they would like that kind of idea, let me know in the comments section below if you thought that was a good idea. If not, it's whatever. But I'm still going to be, kind of advocating for it. I think it would be a really good idea if Bungie did more things to include the community. I know I said earlier it was basically like, let the community basically just take over and do your job for you. Nah, I think it's more just involving the community itself, and I guarantee you most people are going to enjoy something like that, to be able to create their own game modes for PvP. And that being said, if it works there, then you can actually implement that into Gambit later on, right? So you can actually implement all those things that I was saying at the beginning of my stream for PvP and put it into Gambit, and you might actually have some on your hands. Basically just let the community, kind of drive it in that certain direction. So, but anyways, I'd like to thank you for stopping by to my new and improved channel. It's not really new. It's just name change. But I hope you enjoyed your time. We're beyond the hour now, and it's getting late. So, but anyways, I'm going to get the hell out of here. And again, my name is Armalite. My Discord's in the description if you like to join. Then you could possibly be on the talk show at some point. You're more than welcome. Use it at your leisure. And And then maybe we'll try to have a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's reset about the same time, 9:30. And but anyways, until I see you Guardians again, I'll keep it classy.